Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Today, we are going to be learning about how to write a new story. We are upgrading the way we feel about ourselves, the way we view ourselves in life. Do you want a new story? And the best way to decide whether you want a new story is acknowledging where we are right now. And so much has to do with the way we view ourselves and the way we view life. There's a belief system. We literally believe and hold a belief about who we are. And our brain is so smart, it literally takes the instructions from the beliefs we have and it gives us the results. So if you feel stuck, if you feel unmotivated, if you feel like you're avoiding, if you are using procrastination in a negative way, there is hope. Today, we are going to talk about upgrading the way we believe, upgrading to a new story. So everybody has a story. You currently have a story. You currently have instructions that you are giving your brain, and that is producing the results you currently have. So today, we are going to go through how important it is to upgrade our belief. We have got to believe in ourselves. And we need to understand that belief creates movement. It creates organization. It creates goals. It moves us into change. It moves us into the results we're looking for. Belief creates results. It's a movement. So we have to get into action. And I'm going to show you how we use our beliefs to go to our default program, to go to what we know, to go to what is familiar. And this whole program is about upgrading the way we look at other people, the way we look at ourselves, the way we look at circumstances, so that we're able to react to life differently when it shows up, because it always shows up. And if you don't like the way you react to stressful situations or people being mean to you, then we have to upgrade the way we believe, the way we look at others and ourselves. And we can't give what we don't have. So this is the place to start, in our belief. And so what usually happens is something is weighing us down. Something is keeping us stuck from believing in ourselves. We easily take a look at what we didn't get done yesterday, what we think we should be getting done, and we beat ourselves up. And there are these imaginary weights on our back that we carry around with us that weighs us down. If you are feeling tired all the time, if you feel exhausted, if you don't feel like doing anything, it looks like depression, but really it has a lot to do with our belief, our thoughts that are literally weighing us down to the point that we feel heavy. We don't want to get out of bed. We don't want to do the things we used to like to do. We don't have any energy. So what can we do to acknowledge what is actually going on? And I'm going to tell you something. We need to be more gentle and loving and forgiving. I really believe that most of our problem when we are feeling heavy and stuck, it's like quicksand, right? It's like, I cannot get up. It's because we're holding on to things that we need to let go of, which means we need forgiveness. And forgiveness is a tool to change our beliefs. It's a way to let go of beliefs that are no longer working for ourselves. So forgiveness is going to be the answer to helping us move forward. I guarantee you, if you are feeling heavy and tired and exhausted, you are holding on to something that needs forgiveness. Now, we need to start with ourselves because we hold ourselves to a high expectation and we want a lot from ourselves and we expect a lot from other people. And it comes out in our body language. When we're hard on ourselves, it actually comes out in our body language and we're hard on others. And if you're wondering why your relationships aren't working and it feels like when you meet new people, they seem standoffish, or they're giving you a body language that you can tell is not going well, the only thing we have control over is ourselves. And if we can recognize that there is something in us that is reflecting back to us in somebody else's body language or tone or actions or words, then we have a chance at spotting the problem. And we get to take responsibility for ourselves. So right now, I just want you to ask yourself the question, what is weighing me down? Stop the video, write down the question, what is weighing me down? Who do I need to forgive? And put your name on the top of the list. And then be specific about what you need to forgive yourself for. Because I know that I end up holding on to past experiences as a way to beat myself up. If I didn't do something, I will, it's easy to call myself names. It's easy to go over and over what I should have done or what I could have done, or fill in the blank that I wish I was something I'm not, or I wish things could be greener, right? It was like, we always think it's better on the other side of the hill, that it's greener, there's greener pastures on the other side. And the problem is we get over there and it's still not enough for us. So we need mercy. We need to be gentle with ourselves. And so there's this cycle that when we are talking about belief, we are creating a story. And if the story isn't working, it's because somehow there isn't enough forgiveness and love to open the doors to a new story, to a new belief. And so we need to first understand what is in the way. What is in the way? What is keeping me from moving forward? So if you don't know how to forgive, get a book. Look on YouTube. There are so many tools out there. And part of upgrading our results is learning. And if we don't know how to do something, there's so much information out there. We can read a book about forgiveness. We can watch a YouTube. We can learn about how to do that. We can ask for help to understand forgiveness. So forgiveness creates movement. Forgiveness is a way to come back to normal or come back to the center. Because what happens is we get thrown off center by our feelings getting hurt, by resentments, by failure, by mistakes. Disappointment. These things throw us off center and then we hold on to them and it's like weight on us. And that's what keeps us heavy. And so I want to invite you to learn about it. Learn about how to forgive, learn about how to let things go, learn about what's weighing us down so that we can open a space to creating a new story. And this is part of that motivation and these myths about motivation. So we are moving in the direction of a new story, of a upgraded belief system. So believing is a way to create something different. Okay, my job is to calibrate my mind 24/7. Our mind gets stuck, and belief moves us. It motivates us. Belief in self starts with forgiveness. So if it's hard to come up with a new story, and I'm going to teach you how to do the new story, but if it's hard, there is something that is in the way. And we have got to go back and find out what we need to forgive, what we need to be more gentle, what kind of mercy can we give ourselves. We end up talking ourselves down. We need to acknowledge what is holding us back, what is keeping us stuck. What are you currently saying? And if you don't know, we get to acknowledge there is something there. There's nothing wrong with you. See, I even did a journal entry yesterday, and it was like, what is wrong with me? And I felt so tired and so exhausted and so weighed down. And then I was procrastinating doing something in my business. And it was like, I wanted to eat. I wanted to go shopping. I was just looking for something to do to, even clean or cook. And those aren't even my favorite things, but I was using that to avoid this one thing that I needed to do, this one phone call that I needed to do. And so it's like, I took the time to sit down and write down like, what is going on? And I was getting this like mind block, like I literally could not write it out. And it just came out, what is wrong with me? And I knew there wasn't anything wrong with me. I knew that was just, it was like a signal to me that it's an old belief that if I beat myself up and I tell myself there's something wrong with me, I can use that as an excuse not to move forward. So what is it that is weighing you down? Don't ask what's wrong with me. Ask what is in the way? What is keeping me stuck here? How many times do I need to forgive myself? 50 million times. And then if you keep a tally of 50 million times that you forgive yourself and give yourself grace and mercy and gentleness and love, then add another 25 million. And after that, it's going to keep opening the door to more layers of love. So we get to start where we are. And if you need a number for how many times to forgive yourself, let's start with 50 million. Okay. So there are these myths of motivation that are going to create a different story. So I think that if I focus on the past and focus on my old story, that's going to make the future better. That is wrong. Trying to control myself to make things better, also a myth. Rejecting myself into better behavior doesn't work. If I could think myself if I could shame myself into being thin, I would already be skinny. If I could shame myself into making money, I would already be a billionaire. Next myth, I can hide in avoidance. So we try to avoid things, so I have an excuse to not do something. So I can even get sick because I don't want to do something. Now, this last one, procrastination is the opposite of motivation. Now, a lot of people believe this, but the thing is, there's two ways to procrastination. There's a positive way And it can be your friend if you know how to use it. We can also use it in a very negative way that creates stress and pain. Like when you think of writing a paper and waiting till the very last minute. Time ends up being our friend because time pushes us and motivates us into finishing it. So this is actually a positive way of using procrastination. There's also ways that create motivation when I don't want to do something and I'm using, my example with needing to make the phone call and wanting to do these other things like clean or cook. And that takes energy and motivation. So I can get these other things done because I'm trying to avoid this one other thing. So that's another way to make friends with motivation. It's a way to see procrastination as a positive. And so I can use that and be conscious that, okay, I have this energy and I'm going to take an hour to clean the house so I can use that energy towards that. And then I'm going to make the call. It's like, that is a positive thing. So always looking at procrastination as a negative thing and it being and wanting to avoid procrastination, because we actually can use that to beat ourselves up. That's not correct. It's a myth, because we can actually use procrastination in a positive direction that will give us energy. And we need to just know the truth about it and how to use it. Okay. So we are creating a new story today. So we need to look at what is on and what is in. So this bottom, this line here is dividing what's already in my mind. The story that's already there is in my mind, and I am not consciously aware of that, because it's information and it's instructions, and it just automatically comes out. It's in my subconscious. It automatically just comes out in my behavior because it's what's there. It's the instruction and the story that is already there. And so what we are doing here is looking to use repetition to get our story into the now. And so our conscious mind is on top, and we're using that as the here and now. And so we have to keep repeating our new story until our mind obeys. So we want to look at these different areas that we want to change or improve or make progress on. So I encourage everyone to start with the view of myself, because this is where we are so hard on ourselves, and we need to see ourselves in a different light. We have all this old information, these old instructions, and we need to unlearn some of that. And we need to, in order to do that, we're going to use forgiveness to let go of that. And that is going to create more love and open the door for more belief and more creativity to find what you're really looking for. So I want you to look at these different categories and pick 3 things that you want to write a new story about. Okay. How do these stories get in our head? What do I put in my head? How much time am I on the TV, watching movies, listening to music? What kind of music? How do I feel after I listen to that music? The internet, books, experiences, comments, other people's opinions, negative thoughts, beliefs that need to be unlearned. right? I mean, our ancestry passes down things, and it could just even be in the body language of our DNA that, it's never been talked about, but you can clearly see that people are hiding, We play a part in the story. Just because we think about something doesn't mean we will do it. So that's why we are going to write our story out, and we are going to repeat it. We are going to read it. We are going to see it. We are going to learn and gather information about who we are and where we want to go. And we're going to write it as if it's already happened. So we are upgrading our story. That's the whole point of today. We are creating a written out story of the person we want to be. And so what happens is this black wall here keeps us from getting where we want to go. And when the wall has so much to do with what we see, what we hear, what we say, what we feel. It stops us. It keeps us stuck because we have this old story. So we are giving ourselves the education and the skill and the mindset to get through the wall. And we need to be very clear about this big green star over here past the wall, so that we are training our brain that that's where we are going and that's what it feels like, and that we are affirming it and seeing it in our mind, so that we literally don't have the wall there anymore, because we know where we are going. We are focused, and we have the movement that is going to be needed to get there. So here we are. The blue side is the stories about what has happened. And the white guy is the stories about what can happen. And we get to choose. So currently, you have a story about what has happened. It's the instructions and experiences and the things that you're feeding your thoughts today, the details about what you've experienced. That's the story you currently have. It's a story about what has happened, and the results that you have today are a direct result from the story that you currently have. So what we're doing today is we are creating a space in our minds for a new story. We are ready to upgrade this story. So we are going to look right here. You see the wall. The wall is over here. This black wall is what keeps us the same. So what we're doing is we're going to say it, see it, know it, feel it. And we are putting these ideas, we are training our brain with repetition by saying it and seeing it and knowing it and feeling it to get through the wall. These writing this story on paper is the way we can see it, because it's right there. It's in black and white. We're saying it out loud verbally. The more we are able to affirm and see and say, we start believing. So we gain that belief, and we forgive, and we let go of what's holding us back, and we are able to move. That is what's going to keep us, that is what is going to get us unstuck. Words and statements are a form of instructions. It's not a suggestion. Our brain is listening all the time. So what are the areas in your life you want to improve? Because what we're doing is we're using these words to motivate us into movement towards better results. So we're creating a new belief system, especially in the way that we feel about ourselves, so that we feel stronger to deal with the things that are hard. And we get to be honest about what is weighing us down. We get to acknowledge where we are so that we can write a better story. So there's a technique. This is a technique I'm going to teach you guys. So it's a step-by-step process that up-levels an individual's mind settings. It's an individual can learn this process and take action themselves to create a new story. That's what we want. You get to create a life you love. Create belief. You get to choose this. It's your choice. Here are your instructions. So we literally are going to pick the 3 areas of your life that you wish you want to be better or different. Okay. And you get to write a paragraph describing how you wish or want it to be. Writing it as though it's already realized, it's already happened, not as it will happen, but as if it's true today. All you have to do is write a paragraph of details that will fill at least a third of the page. You can go more, but this is just where I want you to start. Reread what you wrote to correct any language that makes it sound like this hasn't happened yet. Read this story at least 1 time or more each day. That is where we build repetition. Our story. What to do? What do I do in this new story? What do I look for? We're looking for things that are going to help us acknowledge our new story is occurring, right? So we want tangible things that I can see that are happening that help me know I'm on the right track, that my story is becoming reality. Who to talk to? Who's in my story? What to say? What are the things that I say to myself and to other people in my story? What to listen for? So how am I being received in my new story? What do people say about me? What are other people saying about me in my new story? What to ask for? How to be? It's not a to-do list, it's a to-be list. It is a becoming. It's not just about the results of making money or the number on the scale or being married or the end result. It's not all about that, because the result is one thing. What is in the middle? What has to be there to get that result? How do I have to feel about myself to have that result? How much forgiveness do I have to have for myself so I'm able to receive the love and forgiveness of another person? So we're looking for a new story, a new way to be with other people. And we're just going to start by writing it out on paper in black and white. And I know this is great. As you think, so shall you become. So when we're upgrading our story and upgrading our words, this came from Bruce Lee. Don't speak negatively about yourself. even as a joke. Your body doesn't know the difference. Words are energy, and it's like casting spells. That's why it's called spelling. Change the way you speak about yourself, and you can change your life. What you're not changing, you're also choosing. So that's pretty powerful, right? So another thing to remember here is that what I'm putting in goes out to the other people that I love and care about. So when my self-talk is negative, when I feel bad about myself, that vibe is going out to other people. So we want to write a story where we are helping other people and loving other people and forgiving other people. And so we start with ourselves. We're starting with our own story about the way we see ourselves and creating a story that is full of forgiveness and love and charity. And that way, that is coming out of us. That's the output we want for other people. I mean, most of us want to love others and care about others, and we don't want to judge them. It doesn't make us feel good. But the thing is, we treat other people the way we treat ourselves. And so writing this new story, you know, if you feel anxious, there's something in there that needs to be acknowledged and worked out. Otherwise, we're carrying it around with us, and it actually vibes other people. It's an energy that goes out to other people that they should be anxious too around you. So we get to choose something different. So if you're experiencing anxiety, we get to write another story about that. I mean, that's so exciting that we get to do that. We get to change the way we look at life to get a different result. So I'm so excited for this process because we get to have this relationship with ourselves. We're building mercy. We want to have higher levels of love for ourselves so that we can do that for other people. It actually gives us more grace for others when we're able to do that. So here's the instructions when you're writing your story, okay? After you have your written paragraphs, we want to review the story daily. So what I need you to do is use your AM/PM routine to put one of the routines would be review your story so that you're tracking that you actually read it out loud. Now, you can record it so that you don't have to read it. You can put the recording to music. That's what I did on my phone is I just have it recorded with nice music in the background, and I listen to my new story. And then I mark the days that I'm doing this. So the importance of your story is so powerful because it's creating the life you want. When we give your mind the instructions it's looking for, you can change the direction of your life. So that's the whole point here. We don't settle for the old story that is controlling us. We get involved with the directions. So we literally get to instruct our mind on what we want. And the more your mind is told, and that repetition keeps going on and on, our brain catches on and it will obey. So making your story feel real. becoming passionate about it. So if you're recording it, you really want to get into it. You want to use feeling. Adding variety is how your story will come to life. Your story will inspire you to reach further and become your best self. So I was going to give you an example of some for finances. Okay. I am financially secure and I love what I do for a living. I can use this money to take care of my family, buy groceries, pay all bills, and do fun activities. I am grateful for the people, resources, and opportunities that continually show up in my life. I see abundance all around me. Here's another example for relationships. I have deep, meaningful relationships with my family. Each morning and evening, my spouse and I talk and dream about our goals and coordinate our daily schedules. We have fun on the weekends. We have fun on dates together and family weekend outings with our kids. The zoo is one of our favorite places to play. I spend 20 minutes every day with each of my kids to read, talk, and tell them how much I love them and am so proud of them. I am a world traveler. I go on extended trips twice each year to experience the beauty, history, and culture of the world. Swimming with dolphins in Hawaii, hiking the ruins of South America, and exploring the waterfalls of Iceland are cherished memories, providing uplifting opportunities for my family to serve and learn about different people is a joy and privilege. So do you see how it's written in a way that it's already happened? Swimming with the dolphins in Hawaii, exploring the waterfalls of Iceland are cherished memories. So I'm putting it in the present form as if it's already happened. So if I want to be financially free to work for myself and go on vacation whenever I want, I would phrase it in that way. I'm financially free to make choices about the days I work. Is that right? Yes. I'm financially free to choose when I work. Okay. So here's some tips. Okay. Tips to begin writing. Avoid I wish or I want. We're writing your story as though it's already happening. So done is better than perfect. Just start writing is where we just want to get the first draft. And I'm going to have you email that to me so that I can help you if I see any words that might be deflecting from the direction we're going. So I am going to help you with this. I just want you to start. So the first thing is to just get started, and you're going to do a first draft and send it to me. Okay. If you get stuck, try starters like I am grateful for, I feel, I love. It's so cool that I explore the mountains of South Africa with my family. So you're looking for things that you can visualize, that you can tangibly see in your mind. Okay. So if you have already created your vision board, review the goals you have put on it and be sure to include details in your story about having achieved all of those goals. So if you don't have a vision board, that's okay. We're definitely going to be working on that. This is just to start creating something different than you currently have right now. So ways to upgrade your story. You've written your first draft. Okay, after you've written your first draft, you're going to send it to me. And then we're going to revise and upgrade your story for a second draft. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to have details, and we're going to find ways to write more specific details in each section of your story. So we're going to try including names of people or places, frequency of experiences, quantities, emotions, dollar amounts. the more specific and measurable the details you add, the sooner your mind will adapt to making your story become real. So we want to add more, add other sections or two to include other areas in your life you want to improve. So if you only focused on your job, you only focused on your family, and you only focused on the way you view yourself, then we can start looking at your physical health. We can look at your vacations. We can look at these other areas that we first looked at in the beginning of making another story or bringing it together so that it's even more detailed about what you're really looking for and how you live your life. There are so many different categories, and we want to just work one at a time. And after we do our first draft, we get to continue. That's how we're going to grow. So you can, of course, always rewrite or edit your story to be more clear, flow better, focus on the details you're most excited about. There's other ways that you can make your story come alive for you. So there might be, when you were thinking about a feeling, we want to think of like other times that I've really enjoyed swimming and what it felt like. And we can literally attach, like if I want to swim with the dolphins in Hawaii, maybe I can think of another time that I have literally looked at swimming and had a wonderful snorkeling experience, but it just wasn't in Hawaii. So I could say, I enjoy swimming with the dolphins in Hawaii, just like the time I swam, blah, blah, blah. Fill in the blank with specifics, because then your mind is going back and it's looking for that way to feel again. And it turns on another part of our brain that's kind of like encompassing this, right? So that's how we're making it more alive for us, okay? So we get to have fun, all right? Here's some powerful ways to keep things interesting and get better results from just reading your story. Okay, so your stance, your body language. I love this one because body language gives so much information to your brain. So you're going to stand like a superhero. You can put your hand over your heart right while reading, because this kind of body language right here, not even over your heart, just this means it's special. Like this action right here means it's dear to you. It means something to you. Okay. Putting your hands up in the air is like, yes, I've had it, and putting your arms, your hands on your waist, like the Wonder Woman position, whatever you relate with, think of a power pose that you can get into. When I'm looking at my vision board and I'm reading or listening to my new vision and my story, I put my hands up and I look up and I'm closing my eyes sometimes and I'm seeing what's being said out loud. The volume and tone. So speak boldly with high energy and enthusiasm, or softly with a feeling. Okay, so we're using feeling, we're using our tone, we're using body language to really get into this story. I already mentioned music. Listen to fun and energizing or relaxing and reflective songs while reading this. The location, try reading it outside, in front of the mirror, in your car, out in nature. So again, your mind is picking up on different things, and giving our mind ways to engage or remember or associate makes it faster to get to our result, because these things that we're wiring together, are firing together in our brain, and it actually creates a bigger momentum in this rewiring process that we're doing in our brain for the new story that you get to live and enjoy. So you could also use a different voice. If you have a significant other or someone you totally trust, record them while they read your story so you can hear someone else saying it to you. So it's not just us saying, it's someone else saying, you love swimming with the dolphins in Hawaii. You do it twice a year, you know, so you're actually hear someone else saying what you do and who you are and what you want to be. Privacy. Find a place where you can read and listen to your story without concerns about being heard or disturbing others. So some of us are embarrassed about a new story, or embarrassed or don't believe that that's right. And so we want to feel safe, and we need to create places in our lives that we feel completely safe while we build a new story. The last thing I want to bring up is celebrating your success. So one of the cool things about the AM PM routine and checking it off is that we get to see that we are putting something different into our mind, and we are creating a new life, a new story. We are upgrading our current results with a new story, new instruction. We want to celebrate every success. Your story is the language of creation. You are creating a new you. This will further reinforce in your mind that the story is working. You have opened your mind to the creative power of language. I am so excited to hear your first draft and see the results that are going to follow, because our brain is always doing what the instructions we give it. So we're putting something new into our brain, and that's how we get a new result. So I'm looking forward to seeing you next time.